So we can call this the rollout stage or the scale up stage. So to implement this stage, we need to think about what are the resources worth investing in this new approach. So if the system is improving versus a gut feel guesswork approach by up to maybe 50% in a low risk area, then it sounds attractive for rollout. The costs are not substantial. If it was in a higher risk area such as healthcare, of course, we'd be much slower, much more careful before we roll out a test, and we'd probably do repeated tests around that. The big change, particularly with these new platforms we've been talking about, is that in the past, the prototyping stage and the scaling up stage would be done on different systems, often different people using different techniques. But these new platforms allow you to both in the same place, reducing the delays and the confusions between those two stages. And all of these platforms we've been touched on allow you to do that. Now, if you were a sophisticated player in this space, if you were a big app company or a Google, then you might want to connect this new system, this new AI, through a sort of connection gateway called an API. But for most of us, we're not at that stage yet. And most HR people, in my experience, what's more useful is a code-free, i.e. non-technical tool set that updates itself over time, where we can, with our colleagues, play with this data and this content to find these new and useful patterns. And all of these systems that we've been mentioning, and again, I don't have ties to any of these companies, offer this capability. So coming to the last sort of stage, the recommendations are all around playing and learning in this very new space for most companies. By that, we mean quickly agree with project stakeholders what are the areas worth exploring, gathering data and the content that's easily available, and starting with that rather than waiting around for a perfect set of data. Using one of these new platforms that doesn't require specialist knowledge so that everyone can get involved and move quickly, and then playing and learning, testing and learning, as well as celebrating success so that awareness spreads across the business. So that's just a brief summary on how we tackle these projects more widely, relevant to a wide breadth of companies, big and small. Just to finish up on what is the near future in this space? Well, because the big technology companies are pushing this and the small ones as well now, AI is going to appear almost everywhere. Anywhere that software touches or affects, there's going to be an AI capability added in over the next decade. And the benefits to the under-empowered billions in the world who otherwise wouldn't get access to the technology we take for granted in developed geographies will be huge benefits for them. We do need to retrain, such as we're doing now, to work out how these new systems work. And we do need to battle misuse around, particularly with things like an ethical approach to AI.